You know when you're aligning with your higher self, and you also know when you're not. It's just that a lot of people are in denial because we have all these pacifiers that we've been indoctrinated into. Like, hey, that's life. A lot of people have a lot of struggle relationship, but we've been lied to believe that, oh, that's just every relationship. No, it's not. That's toxic relationship. However, you owe it to yourself to align with who God has brought you forward to be. Because if you don't, and you know when you're not doing it, you can try to lie all you want. If you don't, you will die with misery in your spirit, and back to the shit you come. Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to another episode and Let's Talk About Us with Uche. I am your host, Uche. To everyone who's been supporting, thank you so much. If this is your first time listening on my podcast, please make sure to share with your friends and family. If this is your first time on my YouTube, also please make sure to subscribe. Do not forget to hit that bell notification so anytime I upload a video, you'll be the very first to be notified. Thank you so much for your continued support. I really appreciate all of you guys. Please don't forget to subscribe. We are 600 and something right now. I'm trying to get to 1,000 before the end of this year. Please subscribe. Right hand corner, right bottom hand corner. Subscribe. It's free. Help my hustle. I really do appreciate it, guys. Let's rack up those numbers. I really do appreciate every single one of you guys, okay? Today we're back with another episode. I'm here with my boy Jacob. What's going on, Jacob?
What's going on, guys? Just got back from Machu Picchu.
Hell yeah.
5-day Salcantay Pass hike with some of my college friends. Absolutely incredible time.
Nice, man. Did you take pictures, videos?
Oh, yeah. We made a little video. We'll put it out there. I'll put the link in the description.
Definitely.
It's good to spend company with people doing something hard, suffering a little bit, and getting to a special spiritual destination that many across the world deem as a wonder of the world.
It was a spiritual retreat.
Exactly.
Do you feel accomplished doing that?
And renewed. Accomplished
Perfect.
and renewed.
Thank you so much for coming back today for another episode. I really do appreciate you showing up every time. You're like by far one of my favorite people now. You know, like I like spending these Saturdays with you, you know, having these conversations. And today we're going to be getting into a reaction video today. What do you think about that? Excited. So there's this video that has been circulated on the internet. I don't remember exactly when it came out, but it's titled The Egg. I remember the first time that I watched it, it was very like, whoa, what is this? You know, like one of the things that stood out to me is the fact that the video hit on a lot of things that I've always talked to myself about and also discussed with a lot of people. You know, like I have my own theory as to where we came from before birth and where we're going afterwards. So when I watched that video, it was so intriguing, very monumental. I shared with a lot of people and I had conversations about it. And I came to realize that it's actually a big deal within the whole spirituality sphere. So today, I don't know if you've watched the video. I don't know if you guys have watched the video. Today, we're going to be watching that video and then we're going to be reacting to it and giving our own commentary. And hopefully we can even add our own thoughts, our own original thinkings and some of the things that we've always thought about in the past.
Yeah,
how do you think
let's
about
get
that?
into it.
Yeah, have you seen the video before?
I have seen the video.
You
yes.
have?
Yes.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. So when was the last time you saw it? Do you remember?
I think I showed a friend probably about a year ago.
About a year ago. So yeah, me too. It's been like, I want to say like maybe 2 years actually. So this would be a good refresher, right? Want to get into it?
Yeah, and if you guys don't know about Kurzgesagt or however you pronounce the guy with names with the K, it's a great channel. Talks about portrays a lot of complex ideas and abstract thinking into very clear, organized, and silly, fun videos.
And I'll put a link down below for anyone who's interested, you know, that subscribe to him. And also subscribe to us. Let's go.
You were on your way home when you died. It was a car accident. Nothing particularly remarkable, but fatal nonetheless. It was a painless death. The medics tried their best to save you, but to no avail. Your body was so utterly shattered, you were better off, trust me. And that's when you met me. What happened? Where am I? You died, I said, matter-of-factly. No point in mincing words. There was a truck, and it was skidding. Yes. I died. Yes. But don't feel bad about it. Everyone dies. You looked around. There was nothingness, just you and me. What is this place? Is this the afterlife? More or less. Are you God? Yes, I'm God. My kids? My wife? What about them? Will they be all right? That's what I like to see, I said. You just died and your main concern is for your family. That's good stuff right there. You looked at me with fascination. To you, I didn't look like God. I just looked like some man, or possibly a woman. Some vague authority figure, maybe. Don't worry, I said. They'll be fine. Your kids will remember you as perfect in every way. They didn't have time to grow contemptuous of you. Your wife will cry on the outside, but will be secretly relieved. To be fair, your marriage was falling apart. If it's any consolation, she'll feel very guilty for feeling relieved. Oh, so what happens now? Do I go to heaven? Or hell or something? Neither. You'll be reincarnated. Ah. So the Hindus were right. All religions are right in their own way. Walk with me. You followed along as we strode through the void. Where are we going? Nowhere in particular. It's just nice to walk while we talk. So, what's the point then? When I get reborn, I'll just be a blank slate, right? A baby. So, all my experiences and everything I did in this life, won't matter. Not so. You have within you all the knowledge and experiences of all your past lives. You just don't remember them right now. I stopped walking and took you by the shoulders. Your soul is more magnificent, beautiful, and gigantic than you can possibly imagine. A human mind can only contain a tiny fraction of what you are. It's like sticking your finger in a glass of water to see if it's hot or cold. You put a tiny part of yourself into the vessel, and when you bring it back out, you've gained all the experiences it had. You've been in a...
Okay, I got a couple questions for you. So that's kind of interesting. What do you think about like reincarnation and past lives and sort of that veil that they just reference being lifted and seeing all that your soul has experienced over the course of thousands, if not millions of years?
I definitely can relate to that. I've always believed that life as we know it is a form of a dream, and you wake up from that dream when you're dead. Sort of like how when you're dreaming, it feels real, but then you wake up from the dream and then you realize, oh my God, there's actually, like that was just an illusion. There's a lot more bigger reality outside that dream. I feel like when we die, we will be reconnected into the infinite, if that makes sense. Like we'll be able to see a lot of our mediocrity that we did when we were alive. I think the Bible kind of talked about something like that. There was a parable or something like that about somebody who died and went to hell, and he was saying, "I wish I had known this when I was alive," something like that, because now he sees a bigger picture. In my opinion, I think that's like that analogy, because you see a lot more of what you've done wrong and what you could have done, because you have like access to a whole infinity of knowledge, if that makes sense. And then you and I we've talked about this in the past about the whole reincarnation thing. I see life as we know it right now, at least this density or this reality, as an inevitable part of passing, as in that continuum of existence. You need to exist in this density right now, just like you existed in the density before this one, and the one before this one, and the one before that one, and so on and so forth. And then after this one, you graduate to the next one, the next one, the next one, the next one. You know what I mean? And sort of like, and I believe patterns don't lie, right? Sort of like the same patterns we have in schools. You cannot get to second grade if you don't graduate first grade. You can't get to third grade if you don't graduate second grade, and so on and so forth. You only get reincarnated, in my opinion, if you don't pass, in my opinion. If you do pass, you move on to the next density.
How do you pass?
I think the passing, as vague as it may sound, is just being what you were brought forth in this world to do. Whatever that is, like being your authentic self. I feel like everyone in this world right now, we are God manifested necessarily, which means that we exist. We have to exist. It is impossible for us not to exist. You exist with a purpose. There's a reason why you exist. So aligning yourself with that purpose, aligning yourself with what it is that God brought you into this world, because God, the creator, but not just perfect, but the epitome of perfection brought you into this world perfectly. There's a reason why you exist. If you align yourself into that by unlearning a lot of the fake indoctrination of who you're supposed to be according to society and that perverse energy in the universe, and align yourself with who God brought you into this world, at the end of the day, you will pass. As a matter of fact, you will feel that deep sense of fulfillment in your soul in every single thing you do.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but your belief is that you have to step into your true self and act as this perfect self that you have been manifested upon this plane to be as. And how much of that true self, like say, you're Uche right now, third density human life form, what percentage of your true self are you enacting as right now? And furthermore, what percentage you have to get to in order to graduate to the next?
I think it's very difficult to know for sure, because I feel like life as we know it is a process. It's not something that you're born prepared. Like it's already completed. This is why we perceive time as something that is passing, because you add on to it and add on to it and add on to it and add on. You're not born a man. You're not born a woman. You're born a baby, and then you grow into a man and grow into a woman. Same thing too. Like, any little thing that you do can throw you off course of growing into the man that you could have turned out to be, or a woman you could have turned out to be. So it is a process. But I do feel like there are things that could show you if you are aligning with what you're supposed to be doing or who you're supposed to be doing. You feel it. If you constantly feel discomfort, that's the Spirit of God telling you that this is not right. You know what I mean? If you have a job that drains the absolute energy out of you, probably not where you need to be. If you have a relationship that is draining, it feels like pulling teeth, that's not meant to be. But it's just that we've been indoctrinated to believe these things as the way to be. There's so many people all around the world who do jobs that they don't like. Forget about outside America, because I do understand there's levels of privilege and things like that Americans enjoy that the rest of the world don't enjoy. But let's focus on America. So many Americans, I don't know what the statistics are right now, but there's so many Americans who do not like their jobs. Every single Monday morning, I hate this. I sit in traffic. They can't wait till Friday, TGIF. That is the Spirit of God inside of you telling you that you're not aligned with what you're supposed to do. There's so many people who are in relationships that has no love, and that genuine love. They despise each other. Look at what COVID has done. I mean, expose a whole lot of struggle relationship. Domestic abuse went off the roof. Divorce went off the roof, because a lot of people are just managing this indoctrination of what success is supposed to look like. We can even take that on so many different topics. So, but very well. I mean, you could try to lie to me and pretend all you want and post whatever you want on Facebook. This facade you want on Facebook. But you, as an individual, if it feels right or if it doesn't feel right. And when you don't know for sure that it doesn't feel right or if it does feel right, because you don't know, it could be your ego, it could be your bias, subconscious bias, unconscious bias. That's why you have therapists, people who are professionals to help you. Like, okay, Jacob, hey, okay, Uche, maybe this doesn't necessarily feel good. Maybe it does feel good. The reason why you don't perceive it as such is because that you have this trauma that you haven't dealt with. But either way, you owe it to yourself to maximize what God has brought you into this world to be. Because if you don't do that, again, there's no right or wrong way of doing it, because we're not born with that manual. It's that process, that endless up and down. It's part of the human experience. You know what I mean? I can break that down in a whole different podcast episode. But I believe that we human beings, we have earned grace. Grace to make mistakes, grace to do this, grace to do that, because it's part of the human experience. However, you owe it to yourself to align with who God has brought you forward to be. Because if you don't, and when you're not doing it, you can try to lie all you want. If you don't, you will die with misery in your spirit, and back to the shit you come. in my opinion, you will repeat the grade because you have to keep coming back and keep coming back until you get the necessary tools.
And that's the question
to move on.
I was asking is how much of yourself do you have to align with to pass? Is
I
it
don't know.
70%? Is it a D minus? Is it a C? Like
I don't know. It's sort of like how much do you need to pass a class? You know, like you can get an A, you pass the class. You can
is
get
there
a C
anything
minus, you
in any
pass the class.
spiritual materials anywhere that talks about that?
I'm definitely sure there is. I mean, the Bible is loaded with so many spiritual teachings on how to align yourself with one with God. I'm sure the Quran is loaded with that. I'm sure the Torah is loaded with that. Hell, I'm sure a whole lot of other spiritual books that are in alignment with the truth, the one singular truth, also talks about that. But just like Eckhart Tolle talks about, there's just one truth, and that truth lives inside of you. So you can actually have that come through you without even reading any one of these books, because it's just one singular truth.
Yeah.
But ultimately, though, I would challenge that you know when you're aligning with your higher self, and you also know when you're not. It's just that a lot of people are in denial because we have all these pacifiers that we've been indoctrinated into, you know, like, hey, that's life. A lot of people have a lot of struggle relationship, but we've been lied to believe that, oh, that's just every relationship. No, it's not. That's toxic relationship that we've been indoctrinated into to believe is normal, but it's not. And your spirit would always be there to remind you that it's not meant to be. And you will feel love when you have love, like real love, you will feel it because it feels different. Make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Human for the last 48 years, so you haven't stretched out yet and felt the rest of your immense consciousness. If we hung out here for long enough, you'd start remembering everything. But there's no point to doing that between each life. How many times have I been reincarnated then? Oh, lots. Lots and lots. And into lots of different lives. This time around, you'll be a Chinese peasant girl in 540 AD. Wait, what? You're sending me back in time? Well, I guess technically, time as you know it only exists in your universe. Things are different where I come from. Where you come from? Oh, sure. I come from somewhere else. And there are others like me. I know you'll want to know what it's like there, but honestly, you wouldn't understand. Oh, you said, a little let down. But wait, if I get reincarnated to other places in time, I could have interacted with myself at some point. Sure, happens all the time. And with both lives only aware of their own lifespan, you don't even know it's happening. So, what's the point of it all? I looked you in the eye. The meaning of life, the reason I made this whole universe, is for you to mature. You mean mankind? You want us to mature? No, just you. I made this whole universe for you. With each new life, you grow and mature and become a larger and greater intellect. Just me? What about everyone else? There is no one else. In this universe, there's just you and me. You stared blankly at me. But all the people on Earth, all you, different incarnations of you. Wait, I'm everyone. Now you're getting it. I'm every human being who ever lived. Or who will ever live. Yes. I'm Abraham Lincoln. And you're John Wilkes Booth too. I'm Hitler, you said, appalled. And you're the millions he killed. I'm Jesus. And you're everyone who followed him. You fell silent. Every time you victimized someone, you were victimizing yourself. Every act of kindness you've done to yourself. Every happy and sad moment ever experienced by any human was or will be experienced by you. You thought for a long time. Why? Why do all this? Because someday you will become like me. Because that's what you are. You're one of my kind. You're my child. Wow. You said incredulous. You mean I'm a god? No, not yet. You're a fetus. You're still growing. Once you've lived every human life throughout all time, you will have grown enough to be born. So the whole universe, it's just an egg, I answered. Now it's time for you to move on to your next life. And I sent you on your way.
Absolutely beautiful, stunning, eye-opening. Brings a sense of peace when you watch it, you know? Kind of says, like, no matter what happens, someone's always there for you. You're also everyone else. So why not just love at all times?
Yeah.
Why not be there for other people in a deep, meaningful way?
Yeah.
You are what you are. It's kind of like when you say, like, positive affirmations, like, I am healthy, I am happy, I am wealthy, I am generous, I am kind. It's like, at the end of the day, it just reduces to I am. Or it is. Let it be. So it is. So it be. It's the extension of all things wrapped up in its entirety with all the different distortions reduced to a single I am, which is the universe, which is God, creator.
Okay.
I am you, you are me, we are we, versus just I am.
I've always believed that if you want to understand God, and by God, we've already talked about what I believe in God. Like, God is not some man, white beard, sitting somewhere in some cloud or anything like that. So you and I, we know, we've talked about this idea of what God is. God is totality and infinity, right? I've always believed that if you do want to understand this God, you need to pay attention to patterns. The patterns always repeat. Sort of like video advice that we watched, the very small looks like the very big. And it just goes on into infinity, the exact same pattern. So yeah, I do believe in this idea of oneness of all. Like, I am you and you are me. And ever since I started making this connection in my head, like this started, like, I want to say like 5 years ago, something like that. It has definitely forced me to look at life from a totally different perspective. This is why I try to be as intentional as possible to treat people nicely with respect and at least being neutral. And I've kind of talked about being neutral, why it is important for you to be neutral. And I've been saying that I'm going to do an episode where I break down what neutrality is and why you need to be neutral. Like, most people you meet in life, you need to be neutral with, because they, you don't really affect them directly and they don't affect you directly. And you shouldn't really have many enemies per se. So when you meet somebody that, I don't really have anything to do with you, you really don't have anything to do with me, I'm going to treat you with neutrality, at least recognize that you're there, respect you and things like that. Because at the end of the day, you are me and I'm you. Whatever it is that you're going through, if I'm not in a position to help you out, just let you do your thing. I'm not going to add to your hurt, right? Nor am I going to help you out if I don't have the mechanisms to help you out. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're still responsible for your own trauma, whatever it is that you're dealing with, just like I'm responsible for mine. Same thing too. All of us, we're going through things in life. I'm going through whatever it is I'm going through, right? If you're not in a position to help me out, to come out of the hole that I'm in, don't add to the trauma that I'm going through. At least be neutral. Respect me and let me be. Because at the end of the day, when you're hurting me, right, you're actually hurting yourself. When I'm hurting you, I am hurting myself. So at least respect people, treat people with neutrality, because we're all the same. We're all one. It's just that we manifest each other necessarily. Now, I don't know the manifestation rubric. I don't know who is in charge of all of this or why, but I know that this manifestation is perfect. So as a result, I need to be my perfect self, just like I expect you to be your perfect self, because we're all in this mission together, like it or not. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I feel like until all of us have that collective, what was that thing that you said? Social memory complex, or whatever it is, until we can all speak the same language, we don't graduate. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it is up to me, like I owe it to everyone to do my part, just like I owe it to you to do your part. So if I am in a position to incentivize you and hold you accountable with love to do your part, together we're winning. We're closer to the kingdom of heaven than alone. Does that make sense? So this is why that book that we were reading last week, Ra talks about life is about learning and teaching. You cannot learn and not teach. You cannot teach what you haven't learned, right? You gain and then you share, because collectively we need to speak the same language, if that makes sense.
It's like an energetic interaction, of course. Yes.
And then after we graduate from this, we graduate into something higher, possibly even whatever it is, realm or density that someone like Ra is in, or Jesus was in, or whatever it is, and that we're able to come back to serve this density, somebody else's graduation party, if that makes sense. Sort of like how we take care of animals. A lot of animals depend on us, especially domesticated animals depend on us. Some of us, we take care of them, we take them in, we feed them and things like that. Same thing is applicable with plants. We care for plants. Well, some of us care for plants, some of us don't, but that's my point. You graduate on to the next one.
I read something yesterday. I will say I sort of disagree with you about the neutrality thing.
Okay.
For two reasons. One, I believe there's a vibrational chart that talks about the emotional feeling of neutrality. And on this chart, it's put like in the middle. We could pull it up maybe and show it on the video. But there are things above neutrality, which are like the realm of love and generosity, caring, compassion, wisdom. Some vibrations higher above, and so and that's the first point. The second point is something I read yesterday talked about whether or not you should hold back your energy in certain situations, because what you mentioned, you said this person's being neutral, you're being neutral, you're not going to interact with each other in a way. I think that's cap, because you have that opportunity to interact with each other at that specific time frame. And what if you, when talking to your other self, went up and just complimented them or started talking to them and listening to them about what they have to say about the world? Maybe you learn something. Maybe you teach something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe you share some of that loving energy to them instead of being neutral, instead of holding back.
No, I think I get what you're saying, but for me, the neutrality I'm talking about is not being afraid of confrontation. That's not what it is. I'm talking about when two people completely disagree. Like, say, for example, you support whatever politician. I'm not going to call names per se, because, YouTube algorithm will probably try to block this. You and somebody else, both of you have two opposing views on political affairs, right? I remain neutral to keep that, right? I respect you with neutrality. I respect that person with neutrality. We can definitely have a conversation that is not dogmatic about what you believe in. I would definitely ask you, okay, so why did you vote for this person? I'll try to be as neutral as possible so I can understand where you're coming from. The neutrality, from my perspective, is checking my own bias. Respecting the fact that you're a human being who has the ability to think for themselves and vote for whoever you want to vote for, as opposed to you say, oh, I voted for this person, and I just start getting all, like, ooh, why would you vote for someone like that? So as a result, people confide in me with things like that. I've had people share so many things with me, and I'm like, when they share those kind of things, I'm like, yo, thank you so much for trusting someone like me to open up to me about something like this. Because even your mother, you wouldn't even share that with your mother. So because they know that I bring neutrality, I come with logic, empathy, emotional intelligence. I'm more likely to give you a conversation that you probably need, as opposed to, you holding up from me because you're scared of being judged. Does that make sense? To me, that's what neutral is. I think you're understanding my sense of neutral as
yeah, I think it's just semantics.
No, I don't do that. That's not who I am, right? Now, if I meet somebody who their being is destructive to my being for whatever reason. I mean, there are people who are just batshit crazy. Those people do exist. I just stay away from them, because that's not my party. It's also written in the Bible. You should not be with people who dim your light or something like that. I stay away from them. Does that make sense? There's so many things that you believe that I don't believe. There's so many things that I believe that you don't believe. But I stay neutral enough, check my bias to understand that you are a human being. I can't control you and vice versa. And I do not want to control you, nor do I want you to control me. So we put our differences aside, our biases aside, and focus on the positivity, as in the oneness of both of us, and cultivate a positive energy from that. That's what I mean by being neutral.
Makes sense.
Okay. Any other question?
We're good, man. We're
Okay.
good.
Well, so this is the end of today's episode. I really do like that. This is a very dope video. I watched it the first time, gave me goosebumps. I shared it with a whole lot of people. I think it correlates with a lot of my mentality as to what I think life and death is, before life and after death. It got me so excited. I watched this about 2 years ago, and I've even added a lot more thoughts to that theory. There's no definitive way to know for sure where we came from or where we're going. So these are all theories. You really wouldn't know until you die. But even at that, you can't die and come back and tell the rest of us. Okay. So this is just something that we are just leading with spirit. And
Sometimes that goosebumps though sends some truth down your spine.
Trust your instinct. Have faith that that you have some information to add to your data collection while you still keep seeking, okay? Because we're seekers. You don't just collect one data and be like, yep, I found the truth. No, you have to keep going and keep going. And it's a never-ending process until your deathbed. Remember how I told you that, I am excited about graduating from this life? So as a result, I am very intentional to be present in every single thing I do. And those are the kind of people I like to be around me, because we got to graduate from this. You guys should let us know what you think about this video. Do you agree with my analysis? Do you agree with some of the questions that Jacob has asked so far? If you've watched this video before and you have your own analogy, your own observation, comments, thoughts from the video that's different from what we talked about, please share down below. I do want to read you guys' opinions.
If it's complete crap too, let us know.
Let us know. Yes, of course.
We want to hear why it's crap. Not
Definitely.
just that it's crap. Tell us why.
Of course. Because again, we're all seekers. We're trying to figure all this out. We're all in this together. We're trying to learn so we can graduate onto the next level. And if you like my YouTube channel, if you like my podcast, if this is a topic that you definitely enjoy listening to, please make sure to smash that subscribe button, smash the like button, comment down below, hit that bell notification so anytime we upload a video, you will be the number one to be notified. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We definitely appreciate your time and your energy. Until next video. Boom.